members. Your support, I think, in the past 3 years and trust have been invaluable. No? I know that we're always in a rush every Q4, but everyone is always trying their best to comply, and we really appreciate that. Yeah, so we can just have a quick recap of the 2024 performance. So this is just actually to give you an idea of the composition of our PRO. Kasi we're thinking that if you see that there are a lot of people from food and beverage manufacturing, a lot of people from fashion, from cosmetics, no, there might be opportunities for us to actually come together as one industry talaga and look at initiatives that we can do per industry, per sector. No? So I think that's really the goal of being a PRO, is to bring together its members and have initiatives for plastic responsibility or plastic sustainability. Yeah. Just a quick update on our numbers. We are 119 strong as of today, OEs, and we have one voluntary enterprise. So yeah, we're hoping to grow more. But yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah. And then our performance for last year. So for both rigids and flexibles, can you hear me? Yes. For both rigids and flexibles, we actually exceeded our targets of 40%. So for rigids, we hit 41.85%. And then for flexibles, we hit 57.26%. We're also showing here that there were also some companies last year, I think more or less the same as who were recognized today, and some other companies that already were hitting 100% since 2023 and 2024. Yeah. So we can go to the next slide. Yeah, and just also, I think there's also an opportunity here. If we look at the processing types for rigids and flexibles, we see that for rigids, actually, 90% of our rigid footprint or diversion is actually mechanically recycled, while for flexible, at least 91% is actually co-processed. So we're not discouraging co-processing, but we think that there are still opportunities for higher levels of processing that we can do and we can consider. Yeah. So for the next slide. Yeah. Then just to give you an update, I thought DNR would be the one to give you the update for policy, but they had another meeting to go to. So AB Chan mentioned earlier, we supported the consultations for the fiscal incentives for EPR. Unfortunately, the technical working group is still working on the feedback from the last consultation, but we already have 2 approved enabling policies. The first one, the penalties and fines for non-compliance to EPR. No? So for that, actually, DNR has issued around 155 show cause orders this year, and I think this is just the first batch. So we do expect that they issue another batch, I think, within the year and then following next year. So good thing na all of us here are already complying with the law. No? For the second one, they already approved the EPR registration fees, meaning there are individual registrations kasi for OEs even under the PRO and for the PRO themselves. No? So not really a major change, but we will communicate further on this. And then we're still waiting, of course, for the procedural manual. Yung procedural manual is supposed to be guidelines or a literal manual for the implementation of EPR. Unfortunately, what we're looking for, yung pointing system for the upstream interventions or for the midstream interventions, are still not in the procedural manual, but it's being taken care of in another work stream now under GIZ. So yeah, those are the upcoming policies. So of course, if you want to get engaged, no, just let us know para if there are public consultations, focus group discussions, we'll invite you to those and you can actively participate. But in the absence of you, of course, we're always here to represent your opinions, your voices. So just let us know if you have any feedback. Yeah, and then this is the reminder siguro for compliance this year. No? For 2025 is already ending. And just to remind you na we are supposed to have our e-cars audited and submitted to DNR by June 30 of next year. So of course, there's still a lot of work to be done. Currently, we already have an audited footprint of 21.3 million and 20.7 million for rigids and flexibles. No? Yung iba dito, estimates lang sila from previous years because we don't have the audited or unaudited footprint pa. So, basically, our total footprints for 2025 compliance here is 41.6 million for rigids and 40.4 million for flexibles. And this is, some of these are still estimated, no? And basically, we have to divert to meet our 50% target collectively, 20 million for, just over 20 million for both. Just a few reminders. Actually, the deadline to submit the audited footprint has already passed last October 30, 2025, but it's okay. You can still catch up naman. So we'll wait for it until the end of the year. And then, hopefully, everyone has also put in their orders for diversion because, of course, we can, well, CPCX markets, you can approach Marla there for pricing if you have complaints. She's not paying attention, so yeah, sa kanya yung negotiations, joke lang. But anyway, if you can still put in your orders, no? Please, for those who don't have diversion recovery yet. Then, if you're also engaging your own waste diverters, the next slide will show ano yung mga kailangan natin from them. Sorry, can you go back? Yeah. But please, we need the deadlines for at least ordering by end of the year, just to make sure that there's really enough supply for the diversion, recovery and diversion. And then if we also have other initiatives for footprint reduction, just submit them to us so we can help you submit them to DNR and ask for footprint reduction credits. Yeah. So, I won't go through this, it's a bit boring, no? But if you're, we'll send the slides naman later. But if you're engaging your own waste diverter, just make sure that the key elements here, specified here, are in their sworn plastic waste diversion certificate so that we can accept them. We can go to the next slide. Yeah. And two more exciting things naman. We were talking about crediting systems of upstream and midstream. No? Unfortunately, we don't have standards or mechanisms yet for those, but that doesn't stop us from doing something naman. No? So if ever you're interested in doing your refill reuse systems for your products, it can be food and beverage, it can be non-food, no? We can help in terms of pilot design, ecosystem activation, baselining, and of course monitoring, evaluation, reporting. And we can apply that with DNR to earn your footprint reduction credits. Okay? And then also for recycled content, so we can basically do the same thing. I know some of the OEs we have here today are already using recycled content. So my ask actually is you submit that to us together with the supplier certification, so we can actually submit it to DNR and say that, okay, we already have a number of OEs that are doing this, so let's ramp up making sure that there are mechanisms to credit this. Yeah, and then I also want to fill you in on the next slide. Yeah. So we're also working on a couple of financing mechanisms. The first one being alternative materials. So right now, this is being passed through expert reviews, and basically, alternative materials alternative material certificates. It's a mechanism to subsidize and basically support the upscaling of alternative materials to plastic to replace plastic. No? Kasi the problem really is that they can't compete with plastic, and there's no uptake. So this alternative materials certificate hopes to remedy some of that. And then we also have infrastructure expansion credits, which we already submitted our proposal to DNR. And basically, what we want to happen here is you can actually meet part of your compliance by investing into infrastructure that will either recover and recycle your plastic waste. So you don't have to invest everything into funding existing recovery and diversion. We can actually invest into infrastructure, which is really what the Philippines needs, no? Kasi very limited infrastructure tayo. And by the time it's 2028, where we need to recover and divert 80% of our footprint, we might not be able to do it. So investments into infrastructure are really important. Yeah, and then I have a last slide, just to also share with you some of the other initiatives that we have outside of the PRO, but also related. No? So we are very fortunate, PCX Solutions is very fortunate to have been selected as the project executing entity for what we're calling Plastic Reboot. So Plastic Reboot is actually a global program funded by the Global Environment Facility. It's being supported in the Philippines by UNIDO and DENR. So basically what this is to look for solutions, circular solutions, mainly upstream and midstream for plastic pollution in the food and beverage sector. So what we'll be doing here is a lot of pilots for refill, reuse, and also alternative materials. And there's also some subsidies that will be going to small, medium enterprises as well as local government units. So the private sector has a big part also to play here because we expect that there is some level of mentoring and also of partnering with some of the alternative solutions provider for the pilots. No? So we'll reach out to you or reach out to us if you want to be part of the pilots here. So this is a 5-year program or 4 years na lang actually. And we're just waiting for the Special Presidential Authority from Malacanang before we can officially launch this. But of course, everyone is invited to the launch. And then we also started for the NPAP Philippines. We are the co-chair for the upstream working group. So again, we're really focusing a lot of efforts into looking for upstream solutions. No? So again, if you want to be part of this group, just let us know. Because everyone is welcome and we really want to build that network of OEs, of solutions providers, of LGUs. So we're here to make it happen. No? And then lastly, as mentioned earlier, we supported sa mga public consultations for JAO. We also delivered some trainings for local government units, and we also hosted some dialogues with the informal waste sector kasi we wanted to make sure that they're included in EPR. And we are going to be publishing a report on the best practices we've seen so far in EPR, so that would also be a good grant. So that's all under a grant that's supported by the UN Environment Program. So yeah, just so you're updated on what we're doing, and if you have any questions around or through email. Thank you.
Thank you